Champ as well. Well, Dwight, the Colts made a little move today.
Yeah.
I love it. I feel the same way. You know, it's interesting. The Colts aren't known for big, splashy moves. But this is, they're going out there. Carson Wentz, he regressed. Are you concerned at all, Dwight, that he did regress last year? It's some bad tape on him.
Well, I mean, this is what I've always said. It's about system. The system that you play in, who's calling the plays for you, builds comfort, builds confidence. What he did with Frank in 2017, I think he had like 33 touchdowns or whatever, and less than 10 interceptions. He had a great statistical year. It's no surprise that Frank wanted to bring him in because they gel together very well. It's no different when I was talking about Phillip Rivers. When Phillip, the year before he went to Indianapolis, he had like 20 interceptions or something like that, didn't have a great year. Then he goes into a system where Frank really understands Phillip because he was with him in San Diego, and they have a good statistical year.
You know, it's funny. The Colts culture is a little like Green Bay. They're not going to get into bidding wars. They're going to ask you to suppress your ego. They're going to coach you hard. Do you think Wentz psychologically fits? I mean, you were not pampered there. I mean, Dwight, you're a Hall of Fame player. Even Peyton, they'll coach you hard in Indy. They're not going to pamper you in Indy. There's a lot of stories out there that Carson doesn't like to be hard coached. What do you make about that? Because Indy has their own culture.
No, absolutely. But you got to understand, this is different eras. Okay, we're talking about Bill Polian, Tony Dungy 15 years ago culture of the NFL and what it was then to what it is now. Okay, and Frank, yes, he takes a little bit of that, but I'm sure he has a little bit of that success in what happened in Philadelphia and kind of injected it into the new Colts, culture. And I'm not exactly sure how they coach. But I'm sure it's not how it used to be back in the day where you can just take a quarterback's head off, right? And you could be violent and be intimidating on defense and the same thing on the offensive game. So I think the culture is probably going to be similar to what he's used to. He spent a lot of time with Frank. Frank is going to be the guy who probably is going to be coaching him the most, all right? So you have to understand there's a lot of familiarity there. And I think that the system that they're in is going to breed for success. So I'm not really worried about the culture per se. Back in the day compared to now, yes, but this is now. And it's going to be completely different.
By the way, second most sacks in Colts history is going to be a Hall of Famer. The great Dwight Freeney is joining us. I want to talk about J.J. Watt's on the market. And I want you to talk as you aged. And I've said this before. There are times I've criticized an athlete, rarely, but it's a money grab. I always use Robinson Cano went from the Yankees to the Mariners. I'm from Seattle. I know he didn't want to play for the Mariners. He wanted the money. And about a year into it, he's like, get me the hell out of here. I want to go win games. Yeah. So there are times when you're like, okay, you're just doing a money grab. But J.J. Watt's different. First of all, he's one of the few defensive guys with a brand. Yep. He has – I look at him and I think, listen – if 5 good teams want me, I'm just going to go where the money's better, and I don't think Green Bay is going to get into a bidding war. Take me into the mind of a pass rusher, J.J. Watt. You defensive guys, you don't get big money as much. You don't have the big brands. Do you think money maybe J.J.'s like, hey, these offensive guys ain't giving up lettuce. I'm not going to give up any money.
You know what? I think it's a mixture of both. To be quite honest with you, as an athlete, you have it's no different than you're a regular employee for your, in life where you're trying to get hired by a new business or company. You want more money. It is no different than the athlete. The athlete has his brand and he wants to build his brand. And obviously he wants to make as much money as he possibly can. The difference is when athletes, their window is so short compared to other folks when they can work until they're 50. But obviously the difference is a lot of more money is given to the athlete. But it's no different. You want to make sure that you protect your family and get as much as you can or whatever you want to do in the future. But that being said, it's not all about the money. Okay, I'm sure JJ wants to get into a situation to where as though he's familiar with the scheme. Okay, he knows who he's playing with, what type of play calls, how much playing time he's going to get. And the thing is, it's not always about how many sacks you're going to get. You know, when you're trying to find a guy like JJ, he might just change the culture as far as a leader is concerned.
Yeah.
You know, you may want somebody in there to coach up the younger guys. A lot of times I was being brought in, yes, to play on third down and what have you, but it was also to help the younger guys behind me learn how to be a professional, right? And experience is like no other in the NFL. Okay. And JJ has played a long time, and you learn so much more from just being out there and experiencing the game rather than just giving your money and all your whatever playing time to a younger guy. JJ's been through it. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up. But I think it is a little bit mixture of both.
You know, it's interesting. I think it's time for the Steelers to move off of Big Ben. I think his game's deteriorated, and he's really expensive. When you were with the Colts, it's interesting. At some point, my company's going to move off me. And it's going to be impossible for me to separate my emotions from reality, right? When you were at the end with the Colts, and they're like, listen, man, that's a lot of money. And Dwight, we love you, but you're out of your prime. Is it hard not to be offended or defensive for Big Ben or star players at the end of a run when you still want money, but the team feels like, listen, we got to reboot at your position?
It's almost impossible. Okay. I mean, I'm quite honest with you. I wish I had the conversation, you know, with my upper management about, hey, Dwight, do you want to take less money or what have you? Maybe I would have took it. Maybe I would have been like, you know what? Screw you guys. You guys don't see my worth. I'll go somewhere else. But we never had that conversation because it was new management. All right. So the new management came in and just said, hey, Dwight, hey, it's been great. We're going in a different direction. All right. So the thing is, once you played like for so long at such a high level, the reason why you're there is because you think and you believe you can continue to do this. This is what helps you succeed in going out there at whatever age, 33, 34, 35, and continue to do great things because you have that mentality. All right. So most guys, you know, I'm sure JJ believes, and it might be true, that he can still be as dominant as he used to be 6-7 years ago. Put it in the right system, maybe he can be. But the problem is, I don't know if the management, wherever he's going to go, is going to believe that. And they're so into this whole thing. The older you get, you're gonna get it hurt. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get that. We have to groom the younger guy. So this is what he's going to, is going to come against. And it may be a problem for him. That's why I say it's very important he goes to a place that he really loves the system and loves where he is.
By the way, I'm going to ask you a trivia question. You had 126 sacks in your career. Do you remember the quarterback you sacked the most?
Ooh, man, let's see. You know what? I think David Carr has to be up there. I'm not exactly sure if he is. He number one.
He's tied. He's tied for number 17. Yes, he is.
Listen. I love playing David. And when I see him on NFL Network, we joke around a lot. About how those days were. He didn't have a chance. Okay, they didn't have a great system for him. It wasn't set up for him. And for me, it was like strictly a statistical game. I couldn't wait to just wait to third down to go ahead and tackle David.
All right. By the way, third and long Madden tournament starts March 1st with Dwight Freeney. Football fans from 13 to 35. Madden NFL 21. It's called Third and Long Madden Tournament with Dwight Freeney. Great to have you on today as a Colt. I think it's a good day for the organization. I kind of feel the same way. I kind of feel like they won 11. I feel like Carson's at least another win and a half.
Yep.
That's kind of how I feel this morning. So Third and Long Madden Tournament starts March 1st. Dwight Freeney, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Take care.
You bet. By the way, the other guy that he sacked